Okay. Um, so this is just going to be a short little live stream because I just need to get this off my chest and out in the open. And hopefully, people that need to hear it hear it. Um, I have a number of YouTubers that I follow. Um, One of them is a Filipina. And in that live stream, there are many other YouTubers that either create or are just YouTube consumers. But some of them are, um, or most everybody is given moderator status in that YouTube channel. But some of them are managing mods. And if that managing mod abuses their power um, and times out other viewers and moderators because she doesn't like what has been said about her, that's not what the moderator status is for. The moderator status is for the purpose of keeping the comments in accordance with YouTube guidelines, not protecting your personal feelings. Hey, Dave, welcome. Yeah, what Kyrent did to you was not appropriate. You reported her. I absolutely reported her. She's abusing the viewers in there, timing them out. She timed you out. She timed out Kuya Gibbs, and all for what they said about her. And that's not what moderator status is for. There was a comment that I typed in and posted, but obviously YouTube cut it out, where I said she's a communist cunt, and she's not even 18. She turns 18 this month. So it after I typed that comment that didn't post, then I typed bye and I left. I'm not going to be abused by some little biatch. I'm a managing mod there as well for Hardy. Problem is, I can't touch her because she's on the same level as I am. The only one who can do anything about her is Hardy, and um, I keep trying to tell Kyrent that she's overstepping her bounds. I left a message for Hardy on her last short where she shows all the super chats that she got from March the 29th to April 3rd or whatever. And the funny thing is, as they're flipping through, I think there's a total of 6 super chats or super stickers that she got. 4 of them were from me. So that's 66% of her supers are out of my wallet. If I leave the channel, well, there goes 66% of her financial backing. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Kyrent may be a nice girl and all, but she's demonstrated that she hasn't got the emotional maturity to act in the capacity as a managing moderator. I know there's somebody else here as well because it's showing that there's 2 viewers. So I'm hoping it's Christina that is there lurking. I'm sorry, sweetie, if I know I went back to your stream just before you ended, and I saw that it looked like you were crying. Absolutely, Dave. She is abusing that power. And it's, it's not, the abuse is that she's doing things that are not in accordance with the roles of moderator. To decisions. And if somebody speaks against her and poof, they're timed out. Well, that's when you're a moderator, you got to let shit like that roll off the back of you, or roll off your back like water off a duck. I hope, Christine, you do. If you are here, you do go in and remove Kyrant from your moderator list. Continuing to allow her to do what she's doing is going to be a huge detriment to your channel. So, Dave, I apologize. I'm not in a position that I can do anything. Once a timeout is handed out, I cannot undo it. Exactly, Dave. If the other viewer here is Christina, Dave is 100% right. Kyrant will destroy your channel. Hello, Joey. Hello, Pregati. Welcome. So Dave and I are commiserating over something that happened in Hearty Miles vlog, less than 10 minutes ago. There is a viewer there from China, Kyrant, and she timed out Dave. Who Dave is a moderator or a standard moderator, and Kyrant is a managing moderator. And Kyrant, said something, and Dave responded to her in kind of a negative way, and Kyrant timed him out. Well, that's not what managing moderators are there for. Anything said against the moderator is between those two people, and is not under the power and control, or should not be used as a reason for exercising moderator control. Yes, Bergati, I know you are from India. I've looked at your channel. I appreciate. I worked with a couple of young fellows from southern India. So I hope that things change in Hardy's stream, that she does remove Kyrant. And that was the main reason I came and did this. I just wanted to put it out there, and I appreciate, Dave, that you came in as well. We can talk about it. I'm going to continue to pop in on Hardy for a bit. No, Dave, what happens gets added to the other one. They're cumulative, not contrary. Yeah, I've tried going in and adjusting a timeout once it's issued, and I cannot do anything with that timeout. And I've done it in another stream where I was managing mod, and I figured it out that they were cumulative. Okay, I will try it again sometime. Um, but yeah, my hope is that Christina does change or remove Kyren's jacket, because if she's going to say something shitty, then she's going to be the one getting the timeout, the boot, and yeah, it's I'm not sure what it is. I know when I did it, it was cumulative. I gave him a timeout of 30 seconds, and the other person had given a timeout of 5 minutes. And I looked at the total time, and it worked out to be 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Yeah, yeah. I hope she does it. I hope she realizes what impact there will be if she doesn't do it, because I'm not going to put up with that little bitch's attitude in the stream. You notice, I've started calling her grandma, because she acts like an old fashioned grandma attitude. And she must think that she's a new dictator from China. And yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you for not putting up with her. It's it's not Kyren's place to be doing what she's doing. So, but ultimately, it comes down to Hardy and what she's going to do for her channel, and continuing to let Kyren be there is going to you know slow her channel growth down. It's going to impact her uh, viewers, especially the ones that leave her super chats, right, and support her. And it's not just the super chats I send her. I've sent her Gcash. That's going to stop. So it's more than just the YouTube channel. There's other implications as well. And I thought I had found somebody that the could I could possibly have a relationship with. But as long as she's letting as long as Kyren is there, that's going to be a hard one for me to swallow. Um, so yeah, it's uh okay. Pragati. I will. I'm going to type something here for Pragati. Okay, so there's a message for Pragati. Um, it will help you learn English. Um, now, it is 9:53 p.m. It is night. Um, so, yeah, I don't know what to say, Dave. For now, it's going to be a watch and monitor situation. Um, as I was starting to say, I was hoping that there might be the possibility of a relationship with Harty, but she's said it quite clearly that there's still issues with her estranged husband. Um, and until those are resolved, she's not prepared to make any commitment one way or the other on a new relationship. I just wish she'd get on with it. However, it costs a pile of fucking money. It works out to about 2,500 Canadian for her to deal with that, or roughly 100,000 pesos. And when you're making about 17,000 pesos a month, and it's pretty much all eaten up in your living expenses, it's challenging to get that done. I mean, she can't even afford to pay the filing fees to get her professional credentials to seek work abroad. I mean, if we as viewers would be able to step up and say, hey, we're going to help you, to get out of Philippines and find work. Yeah, there is no divorce in Philippines, but they can get an annulment, and that's what is the costly part. There is talk in the government about legalizing divorce in the Philippines, but it's not yet in place. So they still got to go with the old annulment bullshit, which is essentially a fucking divorce. I mean, how can you grant an annulment to a couple when obviously when there's 3 kids, and it's obviously they consummated their relationship. That's another good one. The church and the state both will grant you an annulment for a marriage that is unconsummated. But the church, will stand there, and the preachers will get up front and say, "Oh, you can't have sex before marriage." It's funny. I read my Bible, and in Genesis 28, the very end of the chapter, it says that Isaac took Rebekah to his mother's tent, and they were married. Huh? How did they get married in his mother's tent? Was the rabbi in there? The priest? Minister? Pastor? Who was in the tent? I think the only ones in that tent were Isaac and Rebekah. And they did a whole bunch of this. And they were married. There was no paperwork. There was no signing a register. That whole signing the register thing, that was created by the Catholic Church in the 1100s. And that's when they made marriage an official document. The church would track who was married to whom. Okay. Anyways, let me finish this. But both the church and the state will grant you an annulment if you do not consummate the marriage. So that means you can sign the paperwork, but if you don't have sex, you didn't get married, is what both of them say. So both of them acknowledge that without sex, the marriage is not complete, because the two did not become one. So why is the church telling you you can't have sex before marriage, when my Bible, the way God wrote it, says that sex is marriage, not the paperwork? Sex is marriage. Having intercourse, that's marriage. Not some fucking piece of government bullshit paper. But they brainwashed us into believing you have to sign that piece of paper, otherwise you're not married. Yeah, right. Well, they have a term for that. It's called sophistry. It's when they twist the truth just enough that it sounds true, right? But it's not. That's like, if you're navigating the air, for instance, okay? If they give you a compass heading that you have to fly 90 degrees, so that means you are flying due east, but your compass is off by half a degree over 50 miles, it's not going to make a huge deal. But if you're going to circumnavigate the earth, if you're off by half a degree, by the time you come completely around at the equator, you're hundreds of miles to the north or to the south. You're no longer on the equator. So it's off just enough to fuck you up in the end. And that's what so many churches do with the teachings of the Bible. They take you half a degree off course. And at the end of your journey, you missed the fucking gate. That's my rant for tonight. Guys, Dave Pregati, thank you very much for dropping by. And we'll see you later.